CBS 46 News presents Public Affairs on Peach.
Welcome to Public Affairs on Peach. I'm Sharon Reed. Just before Mayor Kasim Reed left office, he sat down with me in an exclusive one-on-one exit interview. It was a candid conversation, very raw in parts, and that included a few parting shots at his critics. They include some who hit the former mayor hard when the Braves announced they were leaving. In part one of the interview, he also told me how he wanted his administration to be remembered.
So help me God.
Where do you rank with those who preceded you, and what is your legacy?
Well, I think Atlanta's had so many great mayors that it would be a complete waste of time to try to rank. We just have so many terrific mayors. Obviously, the mayor who's meant most to me is Ambassador Andrew Young. But in terms of my administration, the bottom line is we put the city in the best position it's been in there 40 years. You know, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So if you fast forward 8 years, we have AA+ credit from Standard & Poor's, Moody's, and Fitch. Crime is down 32%. It's the lowest it's been in 40 years. We are on track once again, 7 out of 8 years, to have less than 100 murders. You all covered it when we were having real spikes. We have the largest police force in the city's history, the largest population in the city's history. 19 U.S. or regional headquarters have moved into the city limits. I was able to play an important role in the biggest economic development project in the state outside of Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. And we're getting the port built and prepared for Panamax ships probably 10 years faster than it would have been done. We got 101 approvals from the Obama administration so that the deepening of the Port of Savannah could go forward. And I have the pen in my office that President Obama used to sign the legislation authorizing the deepening of the port. And so that's one of those 2,920 days that was magnificent. And it would have been impossible without having a partner like Governor Nathan Deal. He and his wife Sandra just become amazing friends to me and Sarah Elizabeth and my daughter, and it's a relationship that I'll value for the rest of my life. In 2,920 days is how long I'll be mayor. So in 2,920 days, you will certainly have challenging days and days where you weren't your best, but my total 2,920 days is going to be a period where the city had unprecedented economic growth. Housing and construction passed the $4 billion mark. We won the Super Bowl, the college football championship, the MLS soccer franchise, all while I was mayor. NCAA Final Four, all while I was mayor. The number of visitors in the city of Atlanta broke records, highest level in history. The motion picture business while I was mayor grew from a $320 million business to a $9.5 billion business employing 30,000 people.
You've been blamed for things that perhaps it's fair, perhaps it's not. The Braves, they left town.
I could really care less about that. You look at the front, there's a story in the AJC. That's one of the best decisions I ever made. I mean, Cobb County paid $400 million to have the Braves Stadium 12 miles from where they are. We paid $0. And now I have a $500 million development being built exactly where the Braves Stadium was. Now Georgia State University has its biggest expansion in the history of the university, and the city got paid about $30 million. I mean, if you're looking for me to be moved by, and they still call themselves the Atlanta Braves. So, and the voters agree with me, not voters in the region. The people of Atlanta did not want me to pay $400 million or $300 million. And my good friend Tim Lee was beaten. I was reelected with 84% of the vote. So you had a very good man and a noble public servant who's now a private citizen while I'm walking out of office and doing an exit interview with you. So anybody that wants to have a conversation about the Braves, I consider that one of the best financial decisions that we made in the history of the city. The city did not have a credit card with $300 or $400 million on it for Liberty Media Company. It is completely different from the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which is funded by the hotel motel tax and which only existed to fund that stadium. Right? So we invested $200 million of visitors' money to fund a $1.5 billion stadium. And I'll just say this, in 5 years and in 10 years and in 15 years, I guarantee you that Atlanta United will be more important to this city than the Braves. They have exceeded all expectations. They're the #1 MLS team in America, and they're the second most well-attended team in all of sport behind the NFL. So I would use some of your language in terms of telling folks they can miss me with the Braves nonsense. They made a business decision. We did everything we could to keep them in the city, but we were not going to give them a blank check. And I'm proud that I didn't give them a blank check.
When Public Affairs on Peach returns, the former mayor talks about his successor, Keisha Lance Bottoms, and why he very much wanted her to replace him.